all of you, and glad that we have survived the first couple weeks. Ms. Bonner?
Yes, sir.
It's loud.
Sir, you would need to entertain a motion from the General Counsel regarding the matters to be discussed in executive session.
Ernie?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, we would ask for a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing pending and threatened litigation, personnel, and real estate.
Motion to approve.
All right, hearing a motion and a second. Voting, Ms. Bonner?
That motion carries 7-0 with Mr. Mason, Mr. Lewis, Mr. Franham, and Mayor Johnson out.
All right, thank you, and we will see you in legal.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's 1 o'clock. Welcome to today's committee meeting. I'll call this meeting back to order. Attorney Plunkett.
Mr. Mayor, we would ask for a motion.
To receive his information and update on the general fund balance.
Well, thank you, Madam Clerk. I see a few colleagues in the queue. Commissioner Sean Franham.
I'd like to make a motion to consent 1, 2, and 3.
Well, can we get them added without any, if there are no objections?
Are there any objections to adding all of these? Is there any reason we need to remove
They're
any?
added with no objection, okay.
All right, they're added with no objection, all four. Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, Commissioner Franham, you still in the queue?
Motion to consent items 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3.
All right,
We have any supporting documentation on these yet?
Yes, sir, what we have should be attached, did you,
I have one.
wait.
I'm gonna just have a committee agenda, but I don't have a special call agenda.
You don't have this one?
No, I don't. That was my next question. I said that was my next question. Thank you. All I have is this. Thank you. Question, Mr. Mayor?
yes, sir, we're going to get to it. Let's get our clerk a chance to.
Yes, sir.
All right. Madam Clerk, you ready to continue? Yes, sir. All right. Commissioner Jordan Johnson, the first. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. I just wanted to ask a quick question. I'm not opposed to the intergovernmental agreement. I just wanted to get an idea of the cost associated with that.
All right.
I don't see anything in the agreement.
I see Administrator Allen. You have
It wasn't added to the consent, so it'll be a standalone item?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Yes, sir, thank you. Okay, that was Mr. Franham with the motion, and who seconded that, Mr. Mayor? Ms. McKnight, okay,
All right.
okay.
You ready to vote?
Mr. Bobby Williams? Miss. It's unanimous.
All right.
Item number
get-
3, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Item number 3.
Item 3 is to approve the intergovernmental agreement between Augusta, Georgia and the city of Hepzibah, Georgia for debris removal requested by the administrator.
Thank you so much. Administrator Allen.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, members of the commission, this intergovernmental agreement would allow Hepzibah to actually do the debris removal in their respective area. As you realize that we share some of the roads, the Augusta as well as Hepzibah. They actually have their own debris removal company. That company would actually be responsible for removing the debris that is actually located in Hepzibah, so there would not be any respective cost to us. They will be initializing that and making sure that it's done within 60 days. If it is not done within 60 days, that does give Augusta-Richmond County the opportunity to make sure that that debris is removed on the Augusta roads. And we will still be able to utilize that and claim that under our FEMA reimbursement, because we have to do that within the 90 days for 100% reimbursement.
All right. There's a motion to approve in a second. Madam Clerk, we are voting.
It's unanimous.
All right, we're going to move to item number 4.
Sir?
Item 4,
That's it.
are we not doing 4?
Yes, sir, that was in part of the consent agenda.
Okay, all right. All right,
They wanted, okay. You wanted to explain it? Okay, well,
no, it wasn't.
Oh,
It was
okay.
not
I never
consent.
said number 4.
No, we
You
didn't.
didn't?
consent for it,
Oh,
no.
okay.
So 1, 2, 3.
We want to, yeah, isn't number 4. All right,
You guys, the governing body approved 6.3 million for the debris company and 550,000 for the actual monitoring company.
Got you. Thank you, ma'am.
all right, Danny, your colleagues. Seeing or hearing none, are we going to receive this as information without objection? Any objection to receiving this information? Hearing or seeing none, it's received.
Can I get a motion to that effect? Can I get a second? Got a motion second to consent number 1. Voting, please.
It's unanimous.
Thank you. We're going to go top to bottom. Number 2. No.
Good afternoon. First, alcohol license application.
We got mic issues. Hold on just a second. Try again.
Hello?
See if you
How about now?
can y'all hear him? No. Can you borrow one of these mics? Because
It's fine up there. I don't.
How about now?
there we go. There you
All
go.
right.
All right.
AN 24-44, this is an existing location, new ownership. It's for consumption on-premise liquor, beer, and wine with Sunday sales and dance. Rudolph Gosning is the applicant. Planning and Development and Sheriff's Department have recommended approval. Are there any objectors?
None noted. Is Mr. Rudolph in?
He is not here, he's unable to make it, but one of the partners, Mr. Reed, is here to represent.
Okay. If you are called up, please be ready to state your name and address for the record when you are called. Home address.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead, home, name and address for the record.
Reed Raymond Blair III, 124 Grayfield Circle, Savannah, Georgia, 31407.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Voting, please. Agenda item number 3, please.
All right, item number 3 is AN 24-45. This is a new location requesting retail packaged beer and wine. Mr. Doshi is the applicant. Planning and Development and Sheriff's Department have recommended approval. Mr. Doshi is not here, and his wife, due to medical situation, and his wife are here to act on his behalf. Are there any objectors?
None noted. Ma'am, if you could state your name and home address for the record, please.
State your name and address.
My name is Payal Doshi and home address is 539 Blue Ridge Crossing, Evans, Georgia.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve, please? Second. Can I get a second? Got a motion and a second. Voting, please.
It's unanimous.
Agenda item number 4, please.
Next is AN 24-46. This is a new location requesting a retail package, beer and wine. Mr. Alati is the applicant. The Planning and Development and Sheriff's Office have recommended approval. Are there any objectors?
None noted. We have IT issues going on. Gotcha. All right, this is number 4. Sir, please state your name and address for the record.
It's Karthik Alati, address is 4720 Laurel Oak Drive, Hepzibah, Georgia.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve, please?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Voting, please. And that was for number 4.
It's unanimous.
Agenda item number 5, please.
Alcohol license is AN 24-47. This is an existing location with new ownership for retail package of beer and wine. Mr. Patel is the applicant. Planning and Development and Sheriff's Office have recommended approval. Are there any objectors?
None noted. Again, this is for number 5. Sir, please state your name and home address for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is Vijay Patel, 410 Catherine Street, Growtown, 30813.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Voting, please. Again, this is for number 5.
All right, next is
It's
AN 20.
unanimous.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Number 6.
Next is AN 24-48. The applicant has withdrawn this application.
Okay. Agenda item number 7.
Is AN 24-41. This is new ownership for existing location for retail packaged beer and wine. Sarita Grammage is the applicant. Are there any objectors?
None noted.
Planning and Development and Sheriff's Office have recommended approval. Commissioner Jordan was asking about their safety plan. I did email him a copy that the applicant sent me the other day, so, but the
Commissioner
applicant here?
Johnson.
Thank you. Yeah, I received the safety plan. It was pretty thorough. But one thing I want to just make sure that for the sake of transparency for all of my colleagues, can we hear that plan? So all the colleagues can hear what the safety plan is? And I also want to be able to assure that if there's like a need for special duty officers at any point, that y'all are prepared to do that as well.
Okay, good afternoon. I am the new owner of the Prabish Food Mart. My name is Amandeep Singh, 7057, and Miss Sarita Gomez is my employee, and she is also the alcohol license. We have contacted the previous owner to get some input about the incident in and around the store. As per the previous owner, there have a couple of incidents, but the major incident happened near to the traffic light outside of the property. So people are using my store as a landmark to call the police if anything happened, and that is the reason it appears that all the incidents are happening at the store property. However, we have taken a few security steps to make sure the property and business are crime and incident free. We are law-abiding people and certainly would like to work the law enforcement to keep the store and surrounding area clean and crime-free. So, no loitering signs are posted all around the building. Employees will report any theft or illegal activity to the police. We have installed a microphone and speaker which allow employee to announce outside the store to leave the property if employee notice any unnecessary activities or gathering. Employees have been trained to call the law enforcement if they notice any illegal activity going on inside and outside of the store. Employees will monitor parking lot for loitering or other illegal activities such as shoulder tapping and take appropriate action should tapping means minor asking adult to buy alcohol or tobacco product on his or her behalf. The sale of service of alcohol is intoxicated customer is prohibited. Signs have been posted in a visible location announcing the policy of not selling alcohol to intoxicated customer. The legal age to the purchase alcohol and tobacco is 21. No person under 21 will be sold alcohol, beverage, and tobacco products. All employees must report incident to the manager and document incident in an incident log within an hour. We have a total 16 security cameras installed on our property. 12 cameras are inside the store and 4 cameras are installed outside of the store. I also have the app installed on my phone so that I can monitor the store and the property. We are also willing to provide an IP address of the security system to the law enforcement if they request on to monitor the property from time to time. The parking lot is well lit and bright in the night time.
Is that good? Is that, I mean, does that pass whatever test we're looking for? The goal is just to make sure that this location is safe. I think it's pretty good. It sounds very, very in-depth. And I've also sent Ms. Bonner the email with this plan to forward to my colleagues as well, so that we can all see it and have it as a matter of record.
Yeah, if you could, sir, if you wouldn't mind giving that to Ms. Bonner, what you just read. Yep, right there. If you wouldn't mind giving that to her for the record, and she can get it to the colleagues.
Okay. And I've also sent it via email.
Are you good with other than?
Good.
Okay.
I'm good if y'all are good.
Ma'am, if you could state your name and address in the record for it.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Sarita Gamez. My address is 1750 SC, Merchant Ferry. My zip code is 30904. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Voting, please.
Unanimous.
All right. Agenda item number 8, please.
Thank you.
Item number 8 is a motion to approve the plaque design for the Henry H. Brigham Community Center.
All right. Who's going to speak on this one? Mr. Jackson.
Question. Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm presenting this plaque design for you for approval. This design was based on the Central Services Building Dedication Plaque Policy. It has been vetted with Central Services Director Ron Lampkin. The prior administrator, Ms. Takia Dowse, also provided approval as well. So I'll address any questions you may have.
Is there updated from what we saw last week, or is it the same thing was showed to us last week? Because I don't.
It is the same as last
Okay,
week.
so two things. Number one is I've never seen a plaque that had the Mayor Pro Tem on there as Mayor Pro Tem. And secondly, normally in this government since I've been here, if a former elected official is part of the project or here when anything is done on the project, they're on the sign. And I know that Commissioner John Clark's name was not on that sign.
Right.
So those are the two things that I noticed on the plaque that we haven't done in the past.
Are you speaking to the part of the policy that talks about the commission that's in session at the time of the funding is approved?
Yes, as well as there's never been a sign that said Mayor Pro Tem. And if you look at that sign, it really makes it look funky with the Mayor Pro Tem underneath. It's nothing against him. It's just the way it looks. There's never been one that had the Mayor Pro Tem like that. It just has the listing of commissioners per the districts.
Well, we can certainly make any changes you request.
Yeah. Commissioner Bobby Williams.
What Mayor Pro Tem are you talking about now?
Unless it changed, like I said, did it change from last week?
Where is it? I don't see the Mayor Pro Tem.
Right there. Yep. Which would make it perfect if you. No offense, but great. Commissioner Grady Smith's name on there, but John Clark's name's not on there.
Right.
So.
All right. I agree. John Clark's name needs to be on there. And I'm just thinking, I'm seeing Grady Smith, William Lockett. Is that because some of these monies are coming from SPLOS 7 or something like that? According to the policy, the commission that is sitting at the time that funding is approved based on policy, that is the commissions that should be named on the plaque. Per policy. Yeah, I know we had monies that came from, I think, SPLOS 7, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So those were guys that were sitting at that particular time. Yeah. Okay, but John Clark's name does need to be on there. Okay. And I have to agree with Commissioner Sean Frainan. If you need to put Mayor Pro Tem on there, some way put it beside it or something, his name or something, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it fits perfectly if you just get rid of the Mayor Pro Tem and add John Clark. The lines and everything lines up.
Duly noted. Yeah.
Commissioner, are you done?
Yeah, I'm good.
Commissioner Guilfoyle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For clarity purpose, Mr. Jackson, would you be kind enough under District 10? You already got Grady Smith, which he was actually here at the time of the funding, and then under District 10 put John Clark. I'm already showing right before Brandon Garrett as a District 8 commissioner as far as the funding. As far as this whole project, with us coming in, these new commissioners that was sworn in last year, you know, I don't care if my name's on it or not, but John Clark definitely needs to be there, as well as Grady Smith as District 10, sir. Can I add another question since we're talking about plaques, since it's germane, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
Last year, a year and a half ago, this body approved some plaques as far as for Tom Wiedemeyer, Andy Cheeks, and the former mayor, Mr. McIntyre. They have yet been put up. Where are we currently at on the status on that? Or do we?
Here comes Mr. Lampkin that probably.
Because I don't think Commissioner Williams want to wait a year and a half to get the plaque up on his building.
As far as those plaques are concerned, those plaques are being made at this time for Andy Cheek and Tom Wiedemeyer. The naming is already on the building. If you've been at the engineering building, you'll see it's covered. So we do have the naming signs up. We just don't have the plaques ready to hang at this present moment, but they are being made.
So, Mr. Lampkin, it takes a little bit over a year just to get them in place to be ordered? Is
No,
that
sir.
correct?
Y'all approved those plaques this year. Y'all approved the renaming, so we did that portion of it. We're getting the names up on the buildings. The signs that's going to the baseball field at Diamond Lakes, they've already been made. We're housing them at the shop. We just didn't put those up until we get the plaques and we're ready to do the dedication. And I think, well, I've already talked to Wes and Leisure Collins about doing the dedication for Tom Wiedemeyer, and Parks and Recreation will be setting it up for Andy Cheeks at Diamond Lakes.
If we got them ready, why don't we go ahead and do it instead of trying to do 3 at one time?
Yes, sir, we can do that. That's not an issue.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, so can we move this forward with the 2 changes, take the pro tem off and add Mr. John Clark? Are we good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can make those changes.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve based on those 2 changes? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lewis, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No, I'm not a part of this committee, but I did hear about Wiedemeyer, Cheeks, Mr. Lampkin. I didn't hear anything about the Ed McIntyre for the Riverwalk, so I need you to, if you can, give us some information on that, where we are with getting those signs put up and dedication for that, please.
We have those in the works. I'm working with Commissioner Jordan Johnson on getting that set up for that dedication. So we're taking care of that one as well.
All right, it was just good to put that information out there so all of us can hear where you are with that. I know you and Commissioner Johnson may have had conversations, but it's enlightening for all of us to kind of know where we are, because I've had questions about that as well.
Right. We're in discussions with the family, and we're getting that set up as well. But yes, we are working on that one too.
Thank you, Mr. Lampkin. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, you're welcome, sir. All right, so can I get a motion to approve the 2 changes that we mentioned? I'm sorry? Oh, just a second. Can I get a second?
Second.
And a motion and a second. Voting, please.
It's unanimous. Item number 9 is a motion to approve instructing Planning and Development Department to review and offer amendments to the Historic Preservation Ordinance, bylaws, and guidelines as it pertains to appeals.
All right, this is my agenda item. I'm gonna give this a little bit of history, and then I'll turn it over to Ms. Delaney. So over the past, I'm gonna say, few months, I've had some concerning conversations about HPC and how they kind of drive the train on some of the development and projects in this community. Speaking of the building downtown that was set for demo in 2021, and it hasn't been demoed yet, and mainly because there hadn't been a plan, I guess, given to HPC on what they're going to do with the project. The individual that wants to develop it basically was at the last meeting and wasn't talked to very well by HPC, and was even a part of a petition to try to make sure the project didn't happen, I'd heard. And it's just a little concerning that HPC is driving the train on development, and I think that we have to look at how we can work from an appeal standpoint and things. I mean, HPC, there's definitely a point to have them in our community, but they should not be driving the train or making threats or telling staff what to do from a board perspective. And I ask that every commissioner review who your members are, because you have the opportunity to change those members in the near future, because it's very concerning to hear some of the conversations, some of the emails I've seen. So that's the reason I felt that I asked Ms. Delaney, what could we do from a commission standpoint to make sure that we're helping developers, yet, the historic perspective, we want to and keep that intact, but the same respect, we want development, and we want to make sure that this commission is helping support those individuals that want to develop in our community. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Delaney.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So as you all know, the Historic Preservation Commission plays a crucial role in safeguarding the architectural and cultural heritage of our community. Their work is ensuring that the historic homes and buildings are preserved for future generations, and they protect the unique character that makes our neighborhood special. One of the challenges, as Commissioner Frantum has mentioned, has been concerned with the number of delays or the returns or that are being requested of property owners once the homes have been in a state of disarray. May that be a roof that's come off, siding, and things of that nature. The amount of time that it's taken for some of the decisions to be reached, the homeowners and property owners are experiencing deterioration, and waiting that 30 days becomes extremely challenging. So, in just sidebar conversations, what we have come before you today to recommend is that if you give us about 3 weeks or the next committee cycle, we're doing a comparative analysis with some of the other historic preservation commissions to see how they are handling issues such as this, to see if we can bring you back a revised, potentially bylaws to help with that. And I do think that we need to probably look at a fast track opportunity or option for particularly homeowners, because they are really, really put in a tight spot at times. But, our historic preservation is 100% volunteers. They work very hard. They take their roles and responsibilities very seriously. But that is one of the areas where there has been expressed concern about improving the time and the turnaround. So we would gladly work on that and bring that back to you if that's acceptable.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Commissioner Garrett.
Thank you. And really, I've heard the instances of where historic preservation has made some very interesting requests of businesses, especially in the downtown area. Even for example, Edgar's Above Broad, they cut those slots out for their outside rooftop bar. Historic preservation made them save the pieces that they took out of that to put back if Edgar's Above Broad ever went away or whatever. I mean, these are just requests that I think should not come through that, and really I think it places an additional burden on people who are trying to, not only keep some of these buildings in operation, but also to help them come along as different things change. But the fact that they're just continually holding back any sort of progress and even acting at times as if they're elected officials. I've heard instances where you have some of the board members reaching out directly to people and making demands out of them. And so I think definitely if we can put a better ordinance in place to kind of, put some arms around what is expected and what their, full role actually is, without holding up progress. And, we all know that the more the time goes by, the more expensive these projects get. And for people who are trying to invest money in our community, I think that that's really unfair.
And Commissioner Frantum, you had said, what could you all, the commission, help us with? One of the things is all of these individuals are appointed. So if they know your position, what you would like to see represented coming through the HPC, I know that they would be amenable, but we just have to make sure that the communication between those that are appointed by you and you are representative of the end goal for the city and the county.
Yeah, I totally agree. I had a conversation with the person I appointed because of some information I was kind of, how she was or how it was or how things were going. And, you know, it was definitely a little bit of a difficult conversation, but the same respect, they have to understand where we are too and how though we want to support them and support what they do, there's also a developmental piece that we have to, you know. No, and I appreciate it. So your request is for a 30-day review of other HPC ordinances and bylaws?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I get a motion to that effect?
Motion for planning to come back to this body in 3 weeks with their findings on how other municipalities are handling the, because you gave it an abbreviation.
Is he going 3 weeks or the 30 days? She said 3 weeks.
30 days.
30 days.
Yes, okay.
Okay, I got a
30
motion. Can I get a
days
second,
review.
please?
Okay.
Got a motion and a second. Voting, please.
It's unanimous.
Agenda item number 10.
Okay, item 10, update on the plan review readers for Augusta Planning Department.
Commissioner Guilford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Laney, can you give us an update on the search for plan examiners, please?
Yes, sir. Currently, we have actively posted the position. We've used the ICC, International Code group. We've used Indeed. HR is working with us. We have had some interest. We have lost a couple of very qualified candidates due to one being salary, two being location. So we are having the conversations. One of the steps that I've taken as the director, instead of just sitting and waiting, I have hired a retired chief building official who's also an architect, and I decided that we would train our existing staff. So we've been waiting for 2 years for qualified people to accept, they leave, or they don't come. And so with that being said, we have people on staff who have the capability to learn if we set up the environment. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have someone come into the office and we're training 5 of our existing staff who've expressed an interest in the position in order to be able to accomplish this. It will take a while, but by a while, I think we should have 2 online probably in December. They're already practicing learning on existing plans of that in that nature. Our biggest challenge is a plans examiner right now is going for about $200 an hour. I also got some quotes, and I have them here with us, bring someone in to do plans examining, and that quote is for $443,000. I'll pass it out to you all if you would like to see it, and that's to help us for roughly a year. So when you think about what we're asking for from a skill sets perspective, the numbers are coming in very high. 80,000 And this is one of the quotes for if they were to help us out for a year. So I'll pass that out. But there's enough copies for everyone. There's enough copies for everyone. So I did bring that. But I think sometimes, as the commission has instructed us, we have to look within, identify those staff members that can help. But at $150 to $200 an hour per person to do plan review that's where we're losing that competition. Right now, our planners are making about $72,000. We moved it up at the commission with the commission's blessing to $72,000 a year. At this point, we have had a few nibbles, a bite, and then they find out that the third parties are willing to pay them $100 to $150 an hour, and that's how you end up with candidates who say yes and then they move on.
How many plans does examiners does the department have performing building plans reviews?
In total, when we're fully staffed, we have 3.
3?
Yes, sir.
All right. How many plans are waiting for reviews? Is there a backlog?
Yes, I have about 14 plans that are sitting, waiting to be reviewed.
All right.
I will say also, I'm sorry, we did contract with a firm that does it on an as-needed basis for us. At their rate is about $93 an hour. So we did contract with them to help with the backlog. But
That's part of the 3?
I'm sorry?
Is that part of the 3 examiners that you have now?
No, sir. That's what we're doing to stand in the gap. This is stopgap measure. It is not a solution because it does get cost prohibitive.
Right. My phone is going off the hook, but as of last Wednesday, Mr. Laney, you tell me that y'all had it on the ICC and HR's has it posted, but the plans, the examiner job position is no longer posted on the city's webpage at this time. Well, so how are we looking when we not posted it on our city webpage?
I can double check and see when it went down and when it came back up, because I know that one of the things we were trying to do is allow for a person with an architectural degree and architectural background to become a plans examiner instead of just relying solely on ICC. So I do know that we did get it to HR. I know we will, when I finish this conversation, I will double check with them and get that information back to you as regards to updating
Mr. Laney, this conversation's been going on for, I guess last year when it came before this body had put it on the tables to see about increasing the salaries to where we could attract better candidates, number one, and actually candidates that want to actually do the job. I don't know where the breakup is. The conduit's no longer there as far as, you know, why it's up, why it's not up. The applicants that's applying, how many applicants actually has applied over this past year? 1, 5, 30, or? You could tell me better than I could guess, naturally.
As a department head, we only receive those who pass the screening with HR. So I don't even get to see candidates to determine, oh, this person, we could make that leap or we could train into that. They have the basic skill sets. I only get the ones who meet the minimum qualifications and are passed through. So I couldn't give you a number as to how many people have applied.
Right.
I can tell you that we have made offers to 3. I think it's 3. Yes.
You made offers to?
3 different individuals in the last year and a half.
All right, because I know Joe Crum comes in on Thursdays to pick up and drop off plans. I know that I'm getting bombarded from general contractor. So as long as there's a plan in place, I hope there's a plan in place. I hope it comes to fruition. I hope we find some plan examiners because it's holding up a lot. Yeah. So I'm going to stop and let some of my colleagues step in.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Garrett.
Thank you. Director Delaney, you just said that you only see the ones that make it through HR. Is that a problem, especially for like a specialized position like this? I mean, because you know, like if you were to look at somebody's background, you could kind of make that determination. This would probably work. Where it's hard to state in black and white on an application, or HR is looking at these things because they're looking for specific things. But I mean, you know what's required out of it. So, do you think that's something that we need to change? To allow the directors to kind of take a look at some of these very specialized positions.
I think for the specialized positions, especially when it's taking this long to recruit, if we could get all of the applicants, that would be ideal. I will say that HR, our recruiter, Ms. Jeter, she will actually call me or send me someone that's close and say, hey, they're kind of close, will you look at it? So we've had some successes there. But just in general, if we can see them, we know if that basic skill set is there that we can transfer into this and have someone up and running in 6 to 8 weeks. And so, yes, it would help if we were able to see every candidate for the hard to recruit positions, of course.
Yeah, and in reference to this that you put in front of us, how many plan reviewers are you budgeted for?
3.
3, okay. And what would that total budget be?
So 210?
Yeah, about 210. If you go to 70, just round it down to 70, about 210.
So in order for us to actively or successfully recruit somebody to come and we need more than somebody, we need a few. What is that salary range that we need to be at?
Truthfully, we're looking at about 85 to 95. And now we also need a chief building official, so that's going to be well over 100,000 additionally.
And what are we doing there? I mean, who's filling in that position?
Right now, me. So we're in a lot of hats right now, but yes. So that one is actively being recruited. Also, we had a great candidate. They scheduled the interview and then they got another offer before they got to us, so.
Do we need to just look at, I mean, I know you said you've already hired one third-party plan reviewer. Do we need to look at multiples?
Actually, what we would like to do, yes, another third party. We have a couple on that we can reach out to, but I would really like the opportunity to hire a recruiter who specializes, and they will take on just our specialized needs. We have, HR is doing a great job.
Is HR aware that that's a request of yours?
Yeah, we've talked about it in general, but not
Administrator, can you make sure that
specific.
That's something that's moving along quicker than slower? I mean, this is a problem we've been hearing about for years, and I know that recently we just lost an employee to retirement, and these are just one of those things that puts us in a really bad place, especially if we're wanting our county to continue to grow. I mean, we can't keep holding back developers and people that want to locate their businesses here.
Okay, yes, sir. Can I ask that we actually give me and Ms. Delaney time to sit down, go over some of the things in her office, and bring back a recommendation of how we move forward with some of these difficult to fill positions within the next 2 to 4 weeks?
I'm not on the committee, so I can't say.
Colleagues, good with that? Yes. Okay. Can I get a motion to that effect?
Motion to the effect of what Administrator Allen just stated.
Say to bring it back. Okay. Can I get a second? Second. Got a motion and a second. Voting, please.
It's unanimous.
All right, and that concludes public services. Thank you, committee.
Wait. Madam Clerk, I would like to call Administrative Service to order. Do we have any addition or deletion?
We have a request for an addendum.
Ms. Bonner, I'd like to delete that request.
What?
Yes.
Madam Chair, I'd like to state something for the record for number 2.
Yes.
Just tell me when.
Yeah. Well, Madam Chair, if I could also add, there's an addendum request that I made, but I want to delete that request. Haven't gotten additional information this morning.
Okay.
Tell me when I can speak.
Thank
you. Tell me when I can speak.
Good job.
Okay. I'd like to delete agenda item number 2 due to the circumstance of where we are as a community, as well as just the way the budget's coming. I do hope that my colleagues will bring this up in 2025, because I do think that code enforcement needs to move to have a law enforcement background. But I will delete that agenda for the rest of this year. Thank you.
All right. If without objection.
What can we do, a consent?
To consent number 1, without objection.
And, okay. And deleting 2 without objection, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're done.
You're done. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to call engineering services to order, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No, ma'am.
Okay, with that being said, if there are no, yes.
Item 2 should be deleted.
Okay. Ms. Bonner? And that one. Okay. If there are no objections for my colleagues, I'd like to consent item 1 and item, 2's been deleted.
Okay.
Okay?
So moved.
Got a motion and a second?
You want to second it, Ms. Mc?
I'll second it.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
All right. Item number 3.
Let me announce the vote, ma'am, and then
Okay.
we need you to vote, and then we can. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That motion carries with Mr. Mason absent. Okay. Item number 3 is a presentation by Ms. LaShondra Robinson regarding city stormwater drain maintenance negligence.
Ms. Bonner. This is public safety or engineering?
Engineering.
Okay, good, okay.
Ms. Robinson? She here? It appears that Ms. Robinson is not in the chamber, ma'am, so.
Okay. Well, that concludes then engineering services. Thank you.
All right, we'll call the Finance Committee to order. Ms. Bonner, are there any additions or deletions from the agenda?
No, sir.
All right, we will, all right, let's consent item number 1. And then I failed to do this when we had our addendums, well, the special call, we had a item about the budget. We wanted to connect agenda item 2 with the budget conversation. Is it too late to do that, or can we just do that as a motion?
You want to add that discussion onto this agenda?
We want to have the public defender's salary proposal discussed during the budget hearings.
Oh, okay. You can refer it to the budget
Is there anyone
hearings.
from the public defender's office here before we do that? Okay, let's defer item 2 to the budget hearings. So we'll consent 1 without objection.
And 2 with the matter being deferred to the budget.
The budget
hearing.
hearings, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, so item 3.
Well, are we going to do that without objection,
Committee,
these
can we do this
consent
without
items?
objection?
Or you want a motion?
Without objection, committee?
Oh,
We are consenting item 1, and we're deferring item 2 to the budget hearings. Absolutely. All right, can we do that without objection? All right, without objection.
okay. Item 3 is an update to authorize staff as signatories for bank accounts.
All right, let's hear it. Interim Director.
Good afternoon. Currently, due to staff resignations and retirements, there's only 1 authorized signer still employed with Augusta. This proposal is to allow to add 2 of my staff as signers on our bank accounts. Be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from any colleagues? All right, hearing none, we'll accept the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Voting.
It's unanimous.
All right, that concludes finance. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to call public safety to order.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see. If there are no objections from my colleagues, I'd like to consent item number 2. And
So moved.
got a motion, how about a second? It's a motion and a second. Voting.
Mayor Pro Tem. That motion carries
Thank you, Ms. Bonner.
with Mr. Mason absent.
All right. Item number 1.
Item 1 is a presentation from Sheriff-elect Gino Brantley.
All right. Right. All right. Good afternoon, Sheriff-elect Brantley. Thank you for being here today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Oh,
Thank you for your time.
before we get started, may I have you state your name and address, please?
Yes, my name is Eugene Brantley. I live at 4810 Apple Court.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for your time. As Sheriff-elect, I feel it is my duty to stand before you during this budget season and advocate for the department and the people tasked with keeping this community safe. What we decide here will affect and dictate how we protect Augusta going forward. I was ready to give this presentation 2 weeks ago, but recent events have made me even more passionate about this. Our community went through a catastrophic natural disaster with Hurricane Helene. I've been out in the community. I have seen how important it is to protect and to serve at all times, but especially when our community is in need and our people are trying to recover and survive. I've been getting calls about people fighting at gas stations. I've been getting calls about why we don't have deputies directing traffic when the lights are out. Businesses have been looted. 2 people have been killed. And if we had more officers, maybe we could have prevented some of this. If we had more deputies, we could have served more people. We could have put chainsaws in their hands and cleared roads sooner rather than later, like our neighboring counties did. There are deputies who lost their own homes, who should be home with their families but can't, because they are out there working, protecting and serving this community. I know this because I've been out there too, and that won't change when I'm sheriff. Our constituents voted for change. We are embracing that change. The biggest thing, y'all ready? It's a change in the approach to how we service our community. Of getting back to a response time averaging less than 15 minutes, answering alarm calls, deputies walking and patrolling the downtown area, even late into the night, jail maintenance and repairs, that if our children are incarcerated, we know they'll be safe and well treated, and proactive policing, stopping crime before it happens. This is what people voted for in this election. It's what our constituents want. It's what our community needs. Let's do this together. Here's where we currently stand. We are the largest full-service sheriff's office in the state of Georgia, with a call volume that surpasses any neighboring agency, but our deputies are the lowest paid. I have people who want to come work for me, but look, when almost every other agency in the state of Georgia is averaging $26 an hour, compared to our $22 an hour, they're never going to come work. Look at the numbers. A certified deputy in Columbia County with 1 year experience is paid nearly $58,000 in comparison to $50,000 here in Richmond County. A jailer in Columbia County makes $52,000 compared to $42,000 here in Richmond County. A Georgia State Patrol trooper makes at least $63,000 in their first year of certification. And many other jurisdictions offers step raises, pays for degrees, and support for education. Richmond County does not. If it's between us and Columbia County or us and GSP, where do you think they're going? And that's just the start. The next increase for a Columbia County deputy after 18 months goes up to almost $59,000. Here in Richmond County, we have deputies with over 20 plus years of experience, averaging pay of $53,000. Same with Georgia State Patrol. A trooper gets a raise up to $69,000 from $63,000 after 18 months. There are two ways to hire new employees. You either bring in an already certified deputy from another agency, or you wait for them to finish the police academy and get them fresh out of training. But when you're paying less than almost every other agency in the state, no one is going to leave their job and come work here. And next year, Georgia Post is doubling the length of police academy from 400 hours of certification to 800 hours. That means it's doubling from 10 weeks to 20 weeks. That means if we don't make some changes, we'll never catch up and fill our shortage. Our top priority is our people. How do we make these changes happen? We bring the agency and our manpower up to current standards. The national standard is to have 2.5 deputies per 1,000 people, 1 jailer per 3 inmates. Right now, even if we were fully staffed, Richmond County will be operating with 1.8 deputies per 1,000 and 1 jailer per 6 inmates. We'd still be below national standards. I know it says wants, but these are needs. Ideally, we'll update our aging fleet every 5 years. Right now, we have at least 87 vehicles that are at least 15 years or older on our current fleet. We create a dedicated crime center focused on proactive policing. We update our technology, which includes the camera system downtown. We'll come back and ask for some of those things later, but for now, we cannot do anything without people, more officers. So what's it going to cost? Not doing it the way we've done it before. We can't afford to do it like we've done it in the past. Even the current sheriff has been sounding the alarm on this for the past 4 to 5 years. 2 times we've cut positions to get small raises to keep deputies from quitting, but that's no longer an effective solution. The only way we can solve this problem is by changing our salaries. So what am I asking for? $5.3 million. On its own, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but let's put this into perspective. The Augusta-Richmond County budget is more than $1 billion. This ask is less than 1% of that. That's what it would take to get your deputies fair and equitable pay and to keep the city of Augusta safe. It's a small price to pay for what's at stake. And remember, we are all a sum of what we've been through. So you know I'm not just saying this. Every professional law enforcement organization knows that competitive pay is crucial in recruiting and retaining quality law enforcement officers. That's why every other agency around us pays its officers more. This salary increase isn't for me. It's just for the deserving men and women who put on the uniform and go out every day patrolling and answering calls. These officers often work overtime to fill the gaps and keep showing up to work for you. I'm not asking for any more than the current sheriff is making. I'm only asking for you to raise current salaries for everyone else. Look, I know this is a team effort. I'm not the kind of person to ask without doing. It's going to take both of us to solve this problem. My team and I have already started looking into ways to bring in money, like grants. The closeout date for the following year is usually around September. So we're not going to find a lot of grants for next year. But because we've had so many people dying on our highways, we held a meeting with the mayor and the governor's office of highway safety, and I have already secured a $400,000 grant for highway traffic enforcement. But salaries will not be solved with any type of grant. That is up to you. We are drastically understaffed. Right now, we're operating with 188 vacancies. We cannot safely cut any more positions and still answer the calls of the people here in Augusta, Richmond County. This salary increase is for the deputies, yes, but it's also for your constituents, to give them what they're asking for: a safer community, more visible officer presence, things that will serve us all. If we choose not to pay our deputies, our community will end up paying the price. Together, we can reduce crime, protect our citizens, and create a future where Richmond County can thrive. Let's get this done. They take care of us. Let's take care of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a great presentation. I'm going to go to Commissioner Frantum.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Chair Follett, for the presentation. I 100% agree that we have to raise the pay and the standard in Richmond County to get where we need to go. I would hope that over the next few weeks, yourself and the administrator would sit down, and your last slide of 188 openings, we've been over 200 openings for a while. Let me just say that. And I understand that there might be this prognostication that we need all those openings to make Richmond County where it needs to be. But is there the opportunity to take some of those back to make up the 5.3? Because do I think this government can get to 5.3 this year? No, I don't. But is there the ability to say, you know what, we can give you back 50 positions and make up some of that difference right now, understanding that, you know, maybe one day we'll be at a point where we need, 722 plus 900 people. But right now, I just think that from this government standpoint, we need to make the change for next year's budget, 100% agree. But I don't see how we can take on 5.3 million at its current state. So I don't know what that happy middle number is, but let's get them, let's up the salary to help, but let's understand that it might be in phases based on budgets and what we can do as a government. But 100% support you, 100% support that we need to raise the salary and get things moving forward. So I'd hope over the next few weeks you'd have that conversation with her of what that looks like to make it work. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, District 9, Commissioner Scott.
Thank you. I'm not on this committee, but aren't you asking for $5 million additional dollars to be at?
Yes, for salaries. If I may, the 188 vacancies represent the amount left after we've already taken some positions to increase salaries already. So actually it's more than 188. We are actually still at 200 and something. We're only at 188 because we took salaries away. I mean, we took positions away to increase the starting salary to 50,000. So in all actuality, we are worse than 188. But because we removed those positions, or they removed those positions so that we could increase their salaries, that's why we're only at 188.
All right, thank you. Good presentation.
I wanted to quickly ask you again, maybe you can go back. I heard about the fleet, 8 years, about the squad cars. Can you go back and repeat yourself on that, please?
Yeah, so we have at least 87 cars that are at least 15 years or older. And I think we have 87 vehicles that are 15 years or older in our fleet. And I think the cost to maintain those vehicles far exceeds us basically just every 6 years selling those cars and reinvesting in newer cars because of the maintenance that they require after 6 years and so many miles.
15 years. That's unacceptable, but no, I appreciate the presentation, and I'll do whatever, Sheriff-elect, to help you out to get to what you're wanting to do. And look forward to you coming on at the first of the year.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to receive this as information. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Oh, okay. Yep, we got two more who have jumped in the queue. Commissioner Guilfoyle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Administrator, can I ask Administrator a question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Administrator, as far as I know that you're going to go through this budget, and we do have some requests, one for the public defenders and mainly for our sheriffs to where he could get our community to be safe again. If you would you kind of make sure that our priority is in these two areas as well?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson?
Yeah, Commissioner Guilfoyle pretty much said it. We want to make sure this is a budget conversation for sure. And if I'm not mistaken, have we defined what those budget priorities are going to be already? Have we defined that? Have we defined those? Okay.
Yes, sir. There have been some priorities listed.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Madam Clerk, as we're going to receive his information, and I want to thank you again for being here today.
Yes, thank you for your time.
And this is without objection, Madam Clerk. Okay. All right.
Okay. That takes us to item 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Receive a performance update from Central Ambulance Services.
Okay.
I'm Gary Coker, founder and president of Central EMS. I reside at 626 Cove Lake Drive, Marble Hill, Georgia. So, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the commission, we'd like to give you a short presentation, and we'll answer questions at the end of that. Yes, we're reporting on the catastrophic times that this county has been through and your citizens have been through this week. We share that grief with them. We're a part of it, but we're here to tell you what your ambulance service has been doing during this time so that you can answer any questions to your communities. To begin with, we don't operate by ourselves. We're a team. We're a team, and we're a team player, and there's a strong chain. Our chain is this. Yes, the ambulance service, the fire department, Chief Burden, and the Sheriff's Department. We all work together as a team with the 911 center. The call comes into 911 and then we all respond, but then we respond together. 911 has done an exceptional job this time. What have we done preparing for this? If you remember that they went and segmented their calls several months back into Alpha, Bravo, Delta, Charlie, Echo, so we could take the real true emergencies and divide them from what would be a non-emergency call. Somebody calling in saying they're sick, somebody calling in saying I have a headache, or maybe their oxygen tank needs to be refilled. I can't tell you how important that's been during this crisis, because we were to segment and say, let's handle these true emergencies, put the others on the back burner. We'll get to those as soon as we complete this. Without E911, without that priority dispatch system, we would have been in some deep trouble this time, and this has truly helped. Without the fire department, without Chief and his team that go out and cut the trees down, that help us to rescue people, that help to render care before the ambulances can get there, your ambulance service would have been a failure. And without all of our people, our team, our EMTs and medics that were there working as hard as they possibly could, this could have been a failure. But you know what? We answered the call. Here's what we had bearing down on us. Massive hurricane. Now, in all the planning we do and all the thought and all we put into this, we could never have imagined that a hurricane that only comes once every 100 years would come all the way up to Augusta and do the devastation, all the destruction that it's done, to cause all the lives and all of the injuries. We could not foresee this. 911, the fire department, and us work on averages. We look at what the average number of calls we run in a day. We look at the average number of calls we have in a month. We can tell you that on a Friday or Saturday afternoon, it's going to be more busy. But we can't tell you a hurricane like this is coming. And when it did, it is sheer overload. The 911 center did the very best that they could, but imagine, they're answering, yes, they're answering for the ambulance, but they're also answering all the fire calls, they're answering all the trees down calls, they're answering all the police calls. They can't possibly answer the number of calls that came at the time when this hurricane came, but they did the best that they could do. Here's what happened to us. We've got a 911 radio directly contacting our ambulances because that's the way you guys had us to plan this, right? So the center could directly call our ambulances. All other forms of communication went down. The majority of the cell towers in our areas went down. We couldn't have any control. We've got a secondary center based up out of Roswell, Georgia. That communication was out. All they had was communication with 911. With that, they did a fantastic job. The center did, our people did, we got to the people. They got the fire trucks there first, we rolled in behind them, it works. Let's go to the next. We answered the call. There were 230 deaths across this storm. I think 30 plus were in Georgia. 1.3 million people went without power, and you had a lot in dollars lost. But here's the biggest thing you want to know from me. What did we do? What did you do, Mr. Coker, about the ambulances? We answered over 1,500 calls during that time, during that week. And that's about 150% of what we really do. Some days we're 200% of what we do. So yes, we answered that call. We answered with this. When I came to you in April, Mayor, you called me and said, Mr. Coker, we need you. We need you to respond to, we have a catastrophe, sir. Please come. I came. When this catastrophe came, we came. I want you to know that you have an ambulance service that serves your community, and in my belief, serves it well. Here's some of the things. You can see a telephone pole going through a car. This is a real catastrophe, but you see the fire department on the scene with us. You see the police department on the scene with us. All of us working as a team to make this happen. Let's go to the next one. Our people went through numerous houses, trees up on top of trees, fell through houses. We had to go into those houses, rescue the people. We had to climb over trees getting in. The fire department cut trees out of the way while we were trying to get in. This is what we were dealing with. Let's go to the next. Here's our teams. Now, we had some heroes. We had heroes like Felicia. Felicia ran her shift. At the end of her shift, she went down to the apartment complexes here downtown, took a medical kit, and went around and visited every one of the residents, the disabled people in these complexes, floor to floor to floor to floor, to see, can I check your blood pressure? Can I check your blood sugar? Can I give you some insulin? Can I give you some help? Is your oxygen machine out? On and on and on and on. That's a hero, right? But then we have heroes. I think, Ms. McKnight, you want to make a recognition?
I do. I want to definitely like to recognize Mr. Jacob Hansen, who's here today. For he's a hero to me. unfortunately, I had to call, my mother had to go into the hospital on Friday, not this past Friday, Friday before the day of the storm. And he was able to get, I think he parked at what, First Baptist? And had to take the stretcher down and assist her. I think it was at 1 a.m. But to me, you're a hero, and I know you're a hero in other people's eyes as well as these other folks that have been out helping throughout this. So I wanted to make sure I recognized you today. Thank you, and thank you for helping me with my mother, because thank you.
You know, he was a hero. He tried every way to get in. There were trees down on every road, every entrance, every way. He took his oxygen bottle and his medical aid kit, hiked in over 6/10 of a mile, climbed over 2 huge down trees, through a lot of down power lines, got to the patient, administered to her, gave her breathing treatments, gave her oxygen, and said, "I'll be back." And he left out on foot, came back out, called for an ambulance and the team. They took a basket stretcher, went in over the trees, loaded her on the stretcher. They carried her out by hand, 6/10 of a mile again, and then put her in the ambulance. Listen, this is one story. I'm recognizing this hero. This same story happened over and over and over and over again throughout this county. Thank you for all of our EMTs and all of our medics that did a heroic job. Now listen, they did a heroic job while dozens of them's own houses and families were in trouble. 8 of ours were displaced so much that we had to get them another place to live. They never missed a beat. You never missed ambulances on the street. You always had the ambulances that you had told us you needed. You had those on the street. What heroes, I think, that work here. Here's what we did in our operations. We lost our operations center. We lost our headquarters on Wrightsboro Road. The sewage came in, took it out. We brought in, here's what we did. We brought in 4 huge generators. We brought in 950-gallon fuel tank because we couldn't get fuel. We brought in 2,000-gallon water tanker because we couldn't get water. We brought in our own bathroom trailers. We set ourselves up with 4 RVs, and we basically call that Camp Helena, right? It's going to be about 2 to 3 months before headquarters can be restored. So we have an ask. Can we please put a construction trailer on site and operate that without permits so we can continue operation until we can get ourselves back on our feet? We would ask that you guys, at whatever department it is, that help, please.
Oh, yes, okay. Mr. Coker, I might see if Miss Carla Delaney, Director Carla Delaney is in here. Somebody.
Okay.
No? Okay. Okay, come on up.
Move it.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
the question, I guess,
We're waiting. Go ahead,
we
Commissioner.
got a command center RV that's not utilized at all. Could they utilize that?
Yes, we could, but in the event of another emergency, that may be a problem. We're fine on our own, paying for our own, to put just a construction trailer down on the ground and operate it until we can get set up. But we will take any help you give us, sir.
Well, something quick. I mean, they could drive it over there to you. I mean, it just sits there, so.
It just sits there? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, sir. We will talk to the fire chief. All right, guys, so in telling you what we did, look at these arrows. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
While we're waiting for Director Delaney, I was just going to go to Commissioner Williams. But if you want to wait, Commissioner, you want to go ahead?
No, we're going to do what Wayne said. Do we need her? Oh, she's coming in, but whatever motion we need, I'm willing to do it. So you can wait until we hear from her, and you can come back.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Yes, Director Delaney, we've got a question here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. Coker ask his question, then you can respond.
We lost our operational headquarters, and so we need is permission to sit a construction trailer on our parking lot to operate with. We don't have time for permits. We would just like to put a trailer in and start operating on a temporary basis for 2 to 3 months while they restore our facility.
Okay. So in cases like this, you do have time for a permit because we can turn it around in a day, same day.
I'm good.
I can do it same day. So yes. So rather than skip over something that could cause an issue later on, we prioritize it. If you tell us what you need, I've got people. We can stay as late as we need to, and we can get you done.
I'll have my people get in touch with your people.
All right. Sounds
That
good.
works.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's your contact? And I can give them my direct line.
Right here.
All right.
All right, you're going to ask me what we did, and I'm wrapping up. I want you to look at the arrows. Yes, we operate 14, 15, 16 ambulances a day. When this happened, we brought ambulances in from Chattanooga. We brought them in from Columbia, South Carolina, Cobb County, Georgia, up north in Catoosa County. We brought them in from Savannah, Statesboro, Macon. You can see Athens. You can see what we did. We covered you with ambulances so that you had enough ambulances to operate. In fact, we had so many, we sent some to hospitals just to unload them. So when our ambulances came in, they would be able to move the patients in and out quickly. This is what you got when you made a contract with Central. We promised you would take care of you. We fulfilled our promise. Yes, Corey. Here's what I want to do, quickly wrapping up. Let's talk about community. Guys, we felt the love from your community. Pizza Hut, we called them, said we need a lot of pizzas. We got to have pizzas to feed these people. No restaurants are open. They said, sure, come down. We went down and handed them a credit card. They said, no, guys, this is on us. Thank you. We appreciate you.
That's awesome.
Chick-fil-A, they gave us, we said, here's our credit card. They said, guys, look, we're just going to cut it half price. We just want you to go out and take care of the community. We appreciate you. Dunkin' Donuts drove a truck to our headquarters, sit there for 8 hours helping our people. We appreciate Subway. They did like others. They said, here, half price. Just, take these sandwiches out and get them to the EMTs and paramedics. I want to thank those people. And then 5B, I bet none of you know what 5B barbecue is. Well, the reason is it's 75 or 80 miles away. When this hurricane first hit, that's how far we had to go to get food for these medics to come in. So we would send a runner out, pick up these, come back in, feed the crews. About the time they got them fed, they'd have to go back out and get another load and come back. That's the type of thing we were doing, bringing in our own fuel, bringing in our own food, bringing in everything we needed to survive on our own. What a wonderful commitment from this. Next one. Now, guys, I can't give you this lady's name because
Charlotte.
Okay, well, her husband was a patient. She rolled up during this hurricane that afternoon, and she said, she had a trailer behind, and I'm going, what is this? And she's bringing in boxes, and I'm going, what is all this? She's bringing in boxes of fried chicken. And she came to me and said, you know what? I've been thinking about you all day long, you and your crew and your team members. And I said, well, thank you. She said, y'all saved my husband's life on July the 8th on a motorcycle accident, and I want to do something to repay you. Thank you, ma'am. Let's go to, and here's let's go to one more slide for me. And I'm wrapping up. So I want you to see this EMT. This girl was in training, finished her training. She was on what we call third ride. She was the third person on the ambulance, finishing up with her EMT school. First day on the job, the hurricane hit. She was there, and there was a catastrophic accident where 3 people were run over by a car. It was an awful accident with young people involved. She had children, and you could see the tears in her eyes. She held up fine during the crisis, but on the ramp at University Hospital, she basically fell apart. And we're consoling her, telling her to listen. This is what we do. This is our job. This is what we're here for. I consider her another hero. Guys, We answered the call. I'm proud of our team. We're proud to be a part of this community, and we're ready for the next hurricane. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Mr. Coker. But I've got Commissioner Williams in the queue.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for all you guys have done for the community. You have answered the call going back to when you started to now. You're dedicated to the community. I think all of Augusta is appreciative of all that you guys do. And I, for one, I've had some friends that have used you guys, and they're very appreciative. And I think, you know, I just take my hat off to you, your heroes. I know he's just one of many, but all of Augusta thanks you. And I do want to say now, when you get the call, when you make the call to Olive Garden, or Longhorns, or Outback, and they're giving you some of the, I'm just volunteering on those days so I can get a little food too. So,
you and I have something in common. We like to eat.
Yes. Yes, sir. But thank you for all that Central does for Augusta, Georgia. You're truly an asset. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll take that to the team.
Again, we thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and receive this as information. And without any objections, Ms. Bonner? And that concludes.
That would work.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public safety. Thank you for all being here.